What's up, guys? Dead of Winter here. Welcome to a new video. Haven't done a video like this ever, but really wanted to as I've been getting back into Overwatch. Was gonna make this video a while ago, but just never got around to doing it. Basically, this is gonna be a tips and tricks video, I guess, just advice video on just how to be better in Overwatch competitive, and just be better in Overwatch in general, whether you're just playing quick play games or if you're playing competitive. I'm gonna cut to now just showing my career stats of how I basically went from practically silver to diamond within a few seasons after just learning a few things and practicing a few things and realizing a few things, and we'll get into those later on, but we'll run over the stats real quick. So basically, I'm just going to go into the career profile here and go down to the first season I played was Season 3, 2,000 rated to 2,200. Season 4 had a really rough season down to 1,100. Then back to mid-gold roughly. You see I play a lot of support and tank. Finally got to plat that season. Diamond that season, played a lot of Zen, Mercy, Ryan, Anna. And then the same to the following season. A lot of Zen, a lot of Mercy, a lot of tanks. And then you'll see here I just go into my win percentages as Zen, which is probably my best hero over the past couple of seasons. There's Season 8, 65%, 59% basically around 60, and then 51% in the season before that. But basically, right now we're just going to go into just the main pieces of advice and tips that I could give from basically somebody who's went from silver all the way up to diamond, and all the things that I was able to learn after reevaluating how I play the game in general. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. So for my first tip in this part of the video, I want to be talking about finding a role and learning and improving on your mistakes that you've been making in the game. And a lot of people, for the first part, I'll premise this by saying a lot of people in the gold to plat range, even up to diamond and master, a lot of times will blame their teammates as opposed to blaming yourself and realizing what you're doing wrong. I think one of the most important things you'll do, and probably one of the most important things I can say in this entire video, I'll say it right now, is just don't always worry about and spend so much time worrying about what your teammates are doing wrong. You'll have a better experience overall, and as a team will perform better if just you and you alone do the job you're supposed to do, and just do it just a little bit better. And you will improve, and your team as a whole will perform leaps and bounds better. Is even if just you only, not worrying about anybody else, the Hanzo on your team, or the Orisa on your team, or the Junkrat on your team, or whatever it may be. Don't worry about them. Worry about you and improve on the mistakes that you've been making. Don't die as much. Use your ult better, etc., etc. Get better aim, things like that, I guess. So for the first part of this section is find your role. What do I mean by this? I mean, figure out whether you want to be a DPS player, a tank sort of defense player, or a support player. For me, I found out that I wanted to be a support player, and I've been having an awesome time in Overwatch being a support player, because that's a role that I really, really like playing. When you see a professional Overwatch League team, you'll see that they have their DPS players, their tank players, and their support players. Sometimes they have flex players, but a majority of them are locked into a certain role that they enjoy playing. That's what you need to do. If you're somebody who tries to go in and flex every game and just play whatever, you're not really mastering one section of heroes, which is what you need to be doing, because to learn all the heroes in the game, good luck. That's all I gotta say. To master every single hero in the game, you're gonna have a very hard time, but finding a section of heroes and mastering 3 of them to 4 of them is probably the best thing you can do. And that's what I ended up doing with heroes like Anna, Zenyatta, Mercy, and now Bridget and Moira, that I've been learning to play those characters more and more and seeing a lot of improvements with them. But yeah, so find your role. And then another thing on top of that is you also kind of need to be flexible, because it's not a perfect world, and sometimes you're going to get into a comp game and that role you want to play is taken. Maybe there's 2 other support players on the team, and a lot of the times it's out of your control but you need to be flexible. So one thing that you can do, one little secret, is just pick a tank and pick a DPS that you're really comfortable playing. For me, I'm really comfortable playing Ryan or Winston. You know, I can flex to those if I can't play support a certain game, or if the tank and support is taken and I have the DPS, I'll play McCree or Pharah. Those are two characters that I know I can go to if in case, you know, everything goes wrong, I can't play tank, I can't play support, you know, I at least have a backup plan. So have a plan B, and in some cases a plan C to go into your comp games, because it definitely helps. And then the next thing I'll say in this section is watch kill cams and Twitch streams. Why do I say that? Kill cams will reveal a lot of mistakes you're making, especially positional errors and just all sorts of errors in general. You know, if you're playing Winston and you dive in and you died, you watch the kill cam and you see, I was alone. It wasn't because my teammates didn't go with me, is I just dove in too far and died. It's as simple as that. Or you're playing a healer, you're Ana, you're Zenyatta, and you know, you're too far up and you get dove and killed early. It's just because you're out of position. Watch those kill cams, they'll reveal a lot. And the other thing I'll say in this section is that watching Twitch streams can be extremely helpful. Just go on Twitch and look up and watch some of the best players that play the heroes that you play, because they'll play in the best that you'll be able to watch, or just watch Overwatch League. It's a fantastic thing to be able to watch the best players in the world, and you'll be able to watch the players individually or as a team play the heroes you like to play. You know, take away, you know, a lot of things that they're doing and apply them into your games, because the small, simple things they do, you might not be doing, and they can make, you know, the world of a difference in your next comp game. So another very, very important yet simple piece of advice I can offer here in this first part of the video. We'll move on to part 2. So in this section of the video here in part 2, I want to talk about positioning and mechanics. This can be applied to obviously every single hero in the game. Positioning, a very, very simple thing. Like when I was talking about kill cams, they can reveal, you know, if you died in a very bad spot, you know, it'll show you like, oh, you died as Zenyatta because you were frontlining and the enemy McCree came right up into your face and killed you, or the Roadhog hooked you and one-shotted you, things like that. As tanks, a general rule of thumb is to be in the front line, DPS in the middle, and then supports in the back, kind of out of the line of sight of the enemy team, so you avoid things like getting sniped by a Widow, hooked by a Roadhog, fire striked, or, you know, one clip by a Tracer, things like that. And just always make sure you're in the right position. If you're support, you should be able to see your DPS, your tanks. If you're DPS, you should be able to see your tanks in front of you. And if you're tanks, you should see no teammates in front of you, and only the enemy team. That's just a general rule of thumb. Obviously, there are certain exceptions to that rule, but as a general rule of thumb, that's pretty much what you're looking for. And then another thing is just learn the mechanics of your hero. A lot of times there's certain things you can do with your hero that you might not even have realized. Like Soldier's Helix Jump, Pharah rocket jumping without using her concussive blast, you know, using Zarya's right click to get up to certain higher places, using Widow's grappling hook to slingshot yourself high in the air to look over walls to hit certain shots. Just simple things like that. This is a bit of a shorter section, but those are just some things that you should be doing and looking for in whatever hero you're playing, is to check your positioning and check to make sure you're using all your mechanics at the most optimal times and in the most correct way. And last but not least, here in the third part of this video, I want to talk about, arguably, again, I know I said it earlier in the video, but this is arguably the most important thing you can do when improving in Overwatch. Obviously, as we know, Overwatch is a team-based game. So what's that mean? It means you're going to need to be communicative, and it means you're going to need to be a team player. So you need to work on your communication and your mindset. That is just some of the most quintessential and important things that you could possibly do. I know for me, a lot of times I'd get upset, I'd get tilted, you know, losing game after game, losing a lot of rating in one night, losing like 200 SR in one night. I know many of you probably might have had that experience as well. It happens to everybody, from bronze all the way up to top 500. People have bad nights. You just got to understand that you'll get the rating back no matter what situation. Just always stay positive. keep a positive mindset. And when I was talking about Twitch streamers earlier, one Twitch streamer that I can recommend that is probably one of the key reasons for the improvements that I saw was from Emong, EMONGG on twitch.tv, Emong, one of the best streamers you can watch. But just have a positive mindset, always be in a good mood, and because when you're communicating in a positive mindset, the difference in your teammates like play quality and communication quality, just it's night and day. The more positive you are and the better of a teammate you are, the more chance you are going to have at winning game after game. And another thing, like I said, communication on top of mindset is extremely important. Like I said, it's a team-based game. Every single role can be communicating something. As support and tank, you're generally going to be the person calling out a lot of the things. Some examples I can give: Zenyatta calling out your discords. Tanks, calling out who you're going to go after, who you're going to dive, who you're going to try and crowd control. Somebody like, as like Reinhardt or Orisa, where are you going to put your shield down, where are you going to be holding, when are you going to use your ult, your Zenyatta, when am I going to save my ult for Transcendence, what ults am I going to try and counter, if you're as Ryan, be like, guys, I'm going to hold shield up here, stand behind me, simple things like that. Call out your discords, call out who's been anti-grenaded by Anna's Bionade, and I'm saying some more supportive things because that's the role that I'm most familiar in. If you're a DPS player and you're playing Tracer and you have a Zarya on your team, be like, hey, let's combo our ultimates. If you're a Pharah and you have a Tracer or a Zarya, combo ultimates. Always be looking for ult combos, things like that. Always be communicating with your teammates. The more information you communicate, the better. And that's pretty much it for this tips and advice video that I have, how to improve in Overwatch competitive. How basically I ended up going from silver to diamond in just a few seasons by applying these what looking back on them now is just simple common sense advice. And if you guys apply these to your comp games, I guarantee you with time and patience you will see improvements and you will climb up to that rank that you deserve. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you're new to the channel, do me a favor and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated.